kick. Utah Valley was 1-1 last week with a lopsided 10-0 shutout win at Chicago State, and then an 0-1 setback at Kansas City. Cassidy McCormick scored her first collegiate goal in that win over Chicago State, with a lot of other Wolverines who were able to see their first minutes of action and their first goals as well. Utah Valley in the box now. Flag stays down, no whistle. Kingashima comes up to make the save. Amber Tripp leads the team with 15 points on the season for the Wolverines. She has 5 goals and 5 assists. And Julie Carter is 12 points with 6 goals. Tripp and Carter are tied for the team lead in shots, about 34.10. UTRGV comes into this one after splitting their last 2 games as well. They lost at California Baptist 3-0 before defeating CSU Bakersfield 1-0. And they have won 3 of their last 4, including a victory over Grand Canyon and a victory over Chicago State. And they come into this one with a 2-1-1 record in conference play. I beg your pardon, 3-1-1 record. Utah Valley with the 3-2-0 record. Again, this is the last home slate for Utah Valley before they finish up on the road at Seattle U next week. So the last 3 games of the regular season here to try and finish up seeding arrangements heading into that conference tournament, which will be held up in Seattle in just a few weeks. Utah Valley hosted this women's soccer tournament here last year, in which Kinga Shemek and company saw early success before losing to the champion Seattle U Redhawks in the semifinals. UTRGV is one of the more interesting teams of this conference. Very, very cool demographic and background. You got 8 players from Texas, 3 from Germany, 2 from Finland, 2 from Ghana, 1 from Canada, 1 from Colorado, 1 from Denmark, 1 from Poland, 1 from North Carolina, 1 from Israel, 1 from Iowa, and 1 from Illinois. Meanwhile, Utah Valley, Megan Sullivan, Julie Carter now swinging it into the box. Carter back to Sullivan. Sullivan swings this one in again, trying to find Tripp, and eventually goes into the back of the net. Jocelyn Bybee with the opening goal for Utah Valley in the 5th. Jocelyn Bybee puts the Wolverines on top. Another beautiful crossed in by Megan Sullivan. Headed right down, missed Amber Tripp, but Jocelyn Bybee was right there to put it home. And just the start that Coach LeMay and his crew have been looking for, especially to defend here at home, their home turf. That's Jocelyn Bybee's 4th goal on the season. As we take another look in slow-mo, Amber Tripp tries to come up with it, misses, but Bybee was right there to kick it into the back of the net past a diving Kinga Shemek. Utah Valley is trying to continue this momentum. It's been a different personality for this Wolverine team, really trying to put the throttle down early and continue that throttle throughout the remainder of the whole match for the full 90 And so far this season, with Coach Chris LeMay exposing his team to intense, more tough competition early on in the preseason games and in the non-conference games, he feels that has set up his team for better success in the conference. And getting out to an early start here at home and looking for even more goals now are the Wolverines as they intercept and take it away from UTRGV. But UTRGV wins the ball right back, and we know that UTRGV is not going to go down without a fight. Head coach Glad Bulgario and company, seasoned in this conference for having some upsets. As we see a shot attempts go far wide out of play. And Alejaro will have her first goal kick. Hara has been invaluable to this team. Coach LeMay has sought very hard to bring her on, the fifth-year senior from San Diego. And she, along with the other teammates for this team, have a goal to not only win the conference in the conference tournament, but to make a name for themselves in the NCAA tournament. In the past several years in this conference, it's been either Seattle U or Utah Valley to take the crown and to represent the WAC in the NCAA tournament. Utah Valley, their last run came in 2017, and then suffering a defeat by the then number 1 seed, which ultimately went on to win the whole thing in the Stanford Cardinal. But Utah Valley 2 years before that, in 2015, under head coach Brent Anderson, won the conference in the conference tournament and went on to lose in the first round to crosstown rival BYU. But a lot of things have changed here in Orem over the past 4 years, and Coach LeMay is starting to put the puzzle pieces together in this third season, setting up a bright future for the Wolverines. UTRGV trying to set up a bright future here on the pitch, and that attack gets snuffed out by the back line of Utah Valley. It'll be a free toss from the outside for the Vaqueros. If you're just now joining us, Jocelyn Bybee's kick finds the back of the net. Her 4th goal on the season in the 5th minute, and that's where the two squads are separated at this time. The lone shot and the lone shot on goal for the Wolverines and of the match. Alejara swings it to Katie Haskins. Haskins switches it up, goes to Jenna Shepard to her left. Shepard gets it up to Hannah Bruce. Hannah Bruce just outside that midfield circle. Now swings it back. Katie Haskins with her eyes up pitch. Looking for her teammates. Now to the near side, Megan Sullivan. Maddie Moore calling for it. Instead, Haskins pulls back. Sends it up toward the top of the box. Taken away by UTRGV and all the way back to Kinga Shemek. Shemek up in the air, now taken away by Stainbrook for the Wolverines. Jenna Shepard. Shepard on the ground to Amber Tripp. Amber Tripp now at the top of the box. Lays this one off. Inside the box still. Making chase is Julie Carter. Carter trying to lay it back for Sullivan. And taken away by UTRGV. Ansa now up the pitch. Breda Wall wins back possession for the Wolverines. Megan Sullivan again to Amber Tripp. Back to Breda Wall. Breda Wall gets taken. Ansa. Megan Sullivan now takes it away, kicks it into the box. Intended target there was Julie Carter. Now Stainbrook with it. Inside the box, Stainbrook deflected off of UTRGV. It will be a corner kick for the Wolverines. Looked like that was last touched by Leah Kalmbach. And the Wolverines get it started And in back in play very quickly. Ansa dispossesses. Bonnie. Kept in play by the Vaqueros. Steiner. Steiner with Zapata to her right. Instead tries to pull the trigger right into the arms of Alihara, who quickly gets it back out of play into the possession of Hannah Bruce. Brita Wall, the intended target. Couldn't quite get there in time. Kinga Shemek again setting up a goal kick. Kinga Shemek, the lone player from Poland. Who kind of grew overnight in that Western, in the Western Athletic Conference tournament last year. And somebody Coach Bagario continues to rely upon and have full confidence in between the net. Amber Tripp with a beautiful ball now outside the box. Cuts back inside. Here comes Amber Tripp setting something up nicely for Utah Valley. Poked away momentarily by UTRGV. Now Brita Wall with her left foot finds Heather Stainbrook. Stainbrook trying to kick it over the head of Kinga Shemek on the outside post, who set herself up very nicely. Shemek last year said that her team and her teammates felt like they had a big chip on their shoulder. They played the underdog card all throughout that season, especially in the conference tournament, with all eyes focused on Seattle U and then number one seed UMKC. Amber Tripp took a shot. This one they thought was deflected off of the arm of UTRGV, but the referee says play on. And here come the Vaqueros. Again, Zapata leading the charge in the middle. Taken away by the Wolverines. Maddie Moore does the dispossesses. Now Megan Sullivan up the field to Brita Wall. Brita Wall lays it off nicely. Right in stride for Amber Tripp. Amber Tripp sends it in toward the box. Looks like it might have taken a deflection. Instead, no, Amber Tripp signifies, nope, that was my bad. That was just a poor touch. Kinga Shemek, another goal kick. 14th minute, just about a quarter of the way through an hour here at Clyde Field. Again, Jocelyn Bybee's fourth goal on the season is what separates the two. That goal coming in the fifth. Bonnie looking for Ansa. Kicked out by Brita Wall. Zapata gets her way past Shepard. Sullivan comes in with the toe poke. Get it back to Alihara. Stainbrook kicks it back. Now a nice size of possession here by the Vaqueros. Eventually trying to find Bonnie, but taken away by Megan Sullivan. Now Brita Wall trying to find the counter opportunity here for the Wolverines. Julie Carter cuts back to her left. Carter with the ball to Amber Tripp. Now back to Brita Wall. Brita Wall trying to hit it on the outside of that right foot. Looking for Jocelyn Bybee. Brita Wall wins it back for the Wolverines. Ansa there to defend for the Vaqueros. Vaqueros galloping into Utah Valley territory now. Again, those neon orange and gray jerseys. Wolverines quickly taking that one right back. Hannah Bruce slips and loses her footing on the far side. Lets that one go out of play. It'll be a throw-in for the Vaqueros. Carter with the nice touch. Stainbrook was the intended target. Instead, this one taken away by Rivera. Bybee, the goal scorer, steps in, takes it away. And a foul's called in favor of Utah Valley. This one will be against the Vaqueros. Adam Zarin, head referee, makes his mark where the ball should be, sprays where he believes the wall should be. And another opportunity for the Wolverines to attack another. Stainbrook awaits the signal. Stainbrook with a kick. Swinger looking for Hannah Bruce. Kinga Shemek coming up to make that stop. Just a couple inches above a flying Hannah Bruce, who's coming in with fury on that near post. Shemek was right there to read it all the way. Now Ansa and company. Again, quickly taken away by Utah Valley. Seems like every time the Vaqueros get their feet on the ball, the Wolverines just surround them with green jerseys within seconds. Bybee goes down a little awkwardly. Gets right back up. Another free kick for the Wolverines, this time in Vaquero territory. Hannah Bruce with it. Heather Stainbrook got a foot on it trying to find Jocelyn Bybee, but the Wolverines couldn't come away with it. Now the Vaqueros. Foul called against Hannah Bruce. Hepker sends the ball upfield. Nobody home for the Vaqueros. Jenna Shepard watches it go gracefully back to Ali Haro, who picks it up right in the box. Flings it out to her right. To Katie Haskins. Haskins trying to find Amber Tripp. Instead, here comes Bonnie. Bonnie in full speed, going 1v1 right at Haskins. Bonnie dribbling, step over. Keeps cutting, and then Haskins eventually kicks it away. Solid penetration there by Bonnie. You got Coach Bagario and the rest of the squad up. Here's the first corner kick for the Vaqueros in the match, coming in the 20th minute. Zabala will take the honors for the Vaqueros. Zabala sent this one in toward that top of the box, headed down momentarily by the Vaqueros. Ball still bouncing around in the box, eventually kicked away by Utah Valley. Slightly dangerous there for a second. Vaqueros definitely know how to score. Again, these teams pretty similar, very fundamentally sound, very even records. Again, Utah Valley in conference play 3-2-0, Vaqueros 3-1-1. Now here come the Wolverines. Jocelyn Bybee, the goal scorer, lays this one off for Amber Tripp, who lays this one off to Breeda Wall. Breeda Wall has space right at Shemek with the two-handed save over the top of the post. Shemek made herself big and tall, and Breeda Wall couldn't get it over. Breeda Wall had some time and some space. Maybe she would have rethought that, gone force Shemek to either her left or her right. But either way, Shemek comes up with a big save to keep this one knotted at 1-0. Good step over move. Here's an in-swinger. This one deflected off of the head. Utah Valley says it was last touched by the Vaqueros. Referee signifies he agrees. Be another corner kick for the Wolverines. Shemek directing traffic for the Vaqueros. Utah Valley on top 1-0, but yet still a little bit more intensity this time go around. Sullivan toward that outside post. And then Shemek finally falls upon it. Utah Valley clamoring for yet another handball. Shemek loses it. Brita Wall sprinting, trying to make it more nervy than it should be. But Ansa's there to calm the nerves. Stainbrook takes it away for the Wolverines, gets a foul call. Ansa coming in with the chip from behind. Stainbrook and Sullivan have been very deadly so far. Combination from set piece free kicks. And we'll see if Megan Sullivan can deliver yet again. It was her ball that found Jocelyn Bybee in the 5th with the score. Bybee makes chase. And that'll go out of play. She quickly throws it in. Amber Tripp. Amber Tripp swings this one in. Headed up in the air by the Vaqueros. Zapata gets a foot on it. Brita Wall gets her position. Sullivan sends this one back in toward the box. Here comes Amber Tripp. Amber Tripp got a foot on it. Jenna Shepard went down in the box. The referee didn't see anything wrong with what happened through his eyes. And Kinga Shemek can breathe a sigh of relief. A flurry of Utah Valley Wolverines coming in. And the score still 1-0. Last touch by Maddie Moore. Vaqueros trying to get the ball in quickly. Knox defers to Ansa. Ansa looking for Zapata. Zapata taken away by Katie Haskins. Ball deflected up in the air. Headed down by Haskins. Kicked up the field by Brita Wall. Now Julie Carter has it. Carter going to go 1v1. Cuts back to her left. Carter dribbling around that Vaquero defense. Finds Amber Tripp. Amber Tripp trying to find Julie Carter yet again. Instead, Ansa steps in to take it away for the Vaqueros. Clears it out. Now Hannah Bruce. Hannah Bruce, a shake and bake to clear herself up. Hannah Bruce with the left foot. Another save by Kinga Shemek. Bruce had Brita Wall wide open on that back post, but Shemek yet again there for the save. Brita Wall with her hand up will take the free kick. The corner sent in, kicked away. Bonnie in full sprint now. Past the midfield logo. Going 1v1 with Bruce. And this one, too hard of a touch, will deflect and go out of play for a throw-in for Utah Valley. '26th minute here at Clyde Field in Orem, Utah. Just south of Salt Lake City, about 25-30 minutes. Utah Valley in their home greens. Vaqueros in their road gray and orange. Jocelyn Bybee's goal in the 5th minute is what separates the two squads. Her 4th on the season. Maddie Moore with it in the logo. There's Chris LeMay, head coach. Done a fantastic job in the 3 years here at this program. In his first year winning the conference and the conference tournament, going to the NCAA tournament. Zapata is onside. Zapata very dangerous. Zapata trying to tee it up. Deflects off of Katie Haskins. Zapata gets it back for the Vaqueros. Zapata turns. Gives way to Bonnie. Now Bonnie looking for some help. An outlet maybe. Bonnie spins and turns. Finally switches up the pitch. Getting some help from the outside. Hannah Bruce swing and a miss. And Ali Hara right there to scoop it up. Zapata very dangerous. One of the leading scorers of the whole conference last year. Wolverines again on the attack. Julie Carter lays it out. Jocelyn Bybee tees this one up. And a misfire there as that one goes right. Sadie Brockbank comes in along with Cassidy McCormick. And McCormick will come on for the goal scorer, Jocelyn Bybee. And Jenna Shepard thought she was coming out. But instead it was Julie. Nope, Coach LeMay changes his mind, and he calls Amber Tripp off. So Amber Tripp steps off. Brockbank steps on. Cassie McCormick steps on. Jocelyn Bybee steps off. The intensity has been picked up by UTRGV ever since Utah Valley got the goal in the 5th minute. Sadie Brockbank with her first touch finds Julie Carter. Carter trying to switch it up and find a streaking Cassidy McCormick on the left side of the box. Instead, UTRGV will kick it and deflect it out of play. And it'll be a throw-in for the Utah Valley Wolverines. Stainbrook. Stainbrook again, back to Sullivan. Sullivan, missed touch there by Stainbrook, goes out of play. Ansa will come, throw it in for the Vaqueros. Despite having one goal, nothing lead here in the first half, Coach LeMay wanting to clean up a little bit here what he sees. He really wants to finish up this home slate with momentum. Definitely wants to get 2 victories, but it's more of how the team is playing as a whole heading into that conference tournament next week or 2 weeks in Seattle. Seattle last year finished up their regular season here at Utah Valley, defeating the Wolverines, and they stayed here for a whole week while they prepped for the conference tournament the week later. And Utah Valley is going to do the exact same this time in the Pacific Northwest as they will finish off their conference season against the Red Hawks. And then they'll stay and train and get acclimated to the weather and to the surroundings. Ansa with the chest right back to Shimmick. About 15 minutes left here in the first half. 1-0 Utah Valley, courtesy of a Jocelyn Bybee goal in the 5th. Dispossession there by Cassidy McCormick, trying to find Sadie Brockbank. Good defending there by the Vaqueros to take that one away. Ansa. Upfield. And sprinting Knox. Too hard of a touch. Played back to Alihara. Hara trying to find Sullivan, who heads it in front of her to Stainbrook. Stainbrook trying to kick it back. Somehow was able to get that thing back before that was last touched out of play by the Vaqueros. .32 minute, Hannah Bruce. Now Cassidy McCormick with it. McCormick looking for Sadie Brockbank. And eventually played all the way back to Shimmick. Sullivan and Knox going 1v1 here. Knox plays it back. Up the pitch. Sapala. Rivera needing some help. Plays it back to Ansa. Now Knox again. Good move there by Knox, creating some space. Rivera now with it. Right at midfield. Looking for Zapata. Zapata last year 11 goals. This year only 5. Still a valuable asset to this Vaquero squad. Stainbrook in some space for the Wolverines. Lays this one off. Sullivan in full sprint. Last touch by Sullivan, still kept in play. Ansa quickly turns it upfield. Knox. Carter coming in with the foul from behind. He gives a free kick to the Vaqueros in the 33rd. Ansa. Knox. And quickly taken away by the Wolverines. Stainbrook lays it off to her left, and Hannah Bruce now. Brita Wall cutting her way upfield. Surrounded by some Vaqueros. Eventually plays it back to McCormick, who plays it back to Bruce. Bruce now with it. Back to Jenna Shepard. And Shepard plays it back to Hara. Maddie Moore switching it up. Good dummy ball there by Julie Carter. Sullivan trying to catch up to it. Sullivan does. Switches it into the box. Looking for Sadie Brockbank. Instead, the Vaquero defense there to take it away. And the Vaqueros will kick it away. Chest it down. And Chris LeMay showing off some skill. Comes away with a little bit of a grin there. So Rivera will step off. Checking into the game is Chipman for the Vaqueros. Katie Haskins to Maddie Moore. Now to Hannah Bruce. As the sun begins to set behind us, skies turning a little bit more pink, mountains a little bit more purple. It's the kind of scenery that you hear about in country songs. Beautiful background for some soccer this time of year. We're just glad that there's no snow yet. Supposedly there's snow coming in this weekend in the forecast. But that's why they like to play this game right now. Sadie Brockbank has a great opportunity. Good defense there by the Vaqueros. Stainbrook lays this one off. Brockbank again. Another missed touch there. This one goes out of play. Last touch by the Vaquero. Nope, the referee overrules it. And it'll be a goal kick for King of Shemmick as Nikki Olandis sets in for her first minutes of action tonight, coming in for Heather Stainbrook. Mangelson with the header. She steps in front of Ansa. Gets the ball all the way back to Shimmick. Sadie Brockbank there, forcing Shimmick to pick it up. .36 minute. Ansa, a missed touch, gives way to Amanda Mangelson. Mangelson in some space. Cuts it back. Brockbank gets around a defender. This one toe poked out of play. And they're going to say a last deflected off of Utah Valley for another Kingashemik goal kick. Cassidy McCormick, the intended target for the Wolverines. Kicked out of play by the Vaqueros. Be a throw-in. Brockbank to McCormick. McCormick still with it for the Wolverines. McCormick trying to shake a defender. Creates enough space to put a ball into the box. Brita Wall finds herself with it. Maddie Moore flicks it up, trying to find Nikki Olanda. Sullivan. Now to Mangelson. Mangelson trying to step over Ansa there to step in front. Now Mangelson kicks it back to Sullivan. Sullivan up to Mangelson. And this one last touch deflected off of Ansa. And that'll give way for substitution. Coming into the match, Anna Barkey stepping off is Emily Zapatas. Brenna Crow checking in as well for the Wolverines. Crow trying to swing this one into the box. Goes out of play. Another Kingashemik goal kick. Johnson Bybee got the first goal of the match tonight. 1-0 is the score in the 38th minute. Johnson Bybee's fourth goal on the season. Credit Megan Sullivan with the assist. Sullivan outside of the box sent an in-swinger. Amber Tripp was the intended target. Amber Tripp swung and missed, but Johnson Bybee was right there to clean it up and put it in the back of the net past a diving Kingashemik. Mangelson sacrificing herself to make that play, going out of bounds, along with Ansa. Nikki Olanda going 1v1 with Steiner there in the corner. Now eventually Mangelson comes in, pokes it away. Referee overturns the call. It'll be a Utah Valley throw-in. Crow with the running two-handed toss. Couple headers by the Wolverines still in the box. Not cleared fully by the Vaqueros. There's a shot in the back of the net. 2-0 Utah Valley in the 39th. Brita Wall. Utah Valley finds their second goal just before the break. That'll be Brita Wall's second goal on the season. Poor clearance by the Vaqueros gives Wolverines another opportunity after another opportunity. As we take another look at it, a poor clearance there, touched by Nikki Olanda. Brita Wall with enough touch on it to flick off the post into the back of the net. And Kingashemik can only do so much for the Vaqueros. She did well enough, trying to keep that score as low as she could. Now the Vaqueros, it's their turn to respond. Utah Valley with a nice 2-0 cushion. Brianna Crow with the two-handed throw-in. First game without the cast that she had on her right hand. Haskins trying to flick this one in. Nikki Olanda heads it up. Bonnie with it. Bonnie goes right around Haskins. Haskins coming in from behind. Haskins gets a touch. Back to Shepard, who kicks it upfield. Aiming for that corner. Sadie Brockbank coming in, showing off her speed as that one was played all the way back to Shimmick. Shimmick had Cassidy McCormick and Brockbank there. Now Mangelson coming in. Green shirts everywhere in a flurry as Nikki Olanda again has it for the Wolverines. Brenna Crow can't keep it in play. Alihara, now to her left, Jenna Shepard. Maddie Moore. Hannah Bruce with a great turn, now a burst of speed past midfield. Bruce with the searching ball. Finds the Vaqueros instead of her intended target, her teammate Cassidy McCormick. Now the Vaqueros. A couple more minutes left here in the first half. Trying to put some sort of pressure on Alihara in this back line of Utah Valley, but so far have had just a few flurries, and even then, nothing really dangerous. See what Coach Bagario and his staff draw up at halftime. Shepard and Bruce going back and forth with it. Now Bruce turns, it goes upfield. Now Brita Wall, goal scorer, plays it back to Katie Haskins. Haskins on the ground. Brenna Crow with some space. Crow swings it into the box. Nikki Olanda has a chest off. Now played back. .44th minute, about 90 seconds left in the first half. Brenna Crow pokes it out of bounds. Final minute as we approach the 45th. Good touch there by Mangelson trying to find Brockbank. Brockbank in a collision. Foul called against Sadie Brockbank. Zapala a little bit shaken up after that collision with Sadie Brockbank. Gets up on her own power, gritting her teeth as she walks with every step. Ansa with the step over. Ansa upfield. Bruce with it now for the Wolverines. Kicks it out of play. Wastes some more clock. And final 10 seconds here in the first half. And both teams heading back to their posts. Utah Valley will finish off that first half with a 2-0 lead over UTRGV. Wolverines on top of the Vaqueros. The goals coming in that first half from Jocelyn Bybee in the 5th and then Brianna DeWall in the 40th minute. We'll take a break, gather our thoughts, and we'll be back with the second half right after this here on the WAC Digital Network.
How does Costa Vida create the ultimate sweet pork burrito? We start by following our award-winning recipe, one that calls for everything to be made fresh, from scratch every day. Like our beautifully braised pork, seasoned beans, savory sauces, and delicious cilantro lime rice. Even our tortillas are cooked to order. It's a difference you can taste. Treat yourself to the ultimate sweet pork burrito, only at Costa Vida.
If we can see things for what they are, if we can see what they could be, if the plastic we use, we never throw away, if the end of one thing could be the beginning of the next. If we know that less can create more. If we can return, we reciprocate, we regenerate. If we are here for others, if we can work as a team, all we have to do is connect, and the world opens out. The future is about giving back.
To national championships runs through NCAA.com and the NCAA Sports app. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want all in one place. With live broadcasts of multiple championships across all divisions. With exclusive access.
Ready to go?
And highlights for every single championship. Stay in the game all season long with NCAA.com and the NCAA Sports app.
What's the difference between buying from Murdoch and buying from somebody else? In a word, confidence. You'll love our price match guarantee, our 5-day exchange policy,
and don't forget car washes and safety inspections for life.
If you need a new vehicle, consider Murdoch Hyundai. I promise you'll love it.
Thinking of buying a home? Think bigger. Because with UCCU's low interest rates and low mortgage insurance rates, you could qualify for more house with the same payment you could get from other local lenders. A mortgage with UCCU gives you more purchase power. That means more money you can put into your home or back into your pocket. To learn more, visit uccu.com/morehouse or stop by any UCCU branch today. More house, same payment. Only at UCCU, inspiring smart mortgage decisions.
In the WAC, we value sportsmanship on the field,
on the track, on the court, in the pool,
and in the stands.
We take pride in playing fair and being honest.
We honor the game by showing respect for our opponents,
the officials,
the fans, and our team.
Great sportsmanship is about keeping everything in perspective.
It's about taking ownership after a loss.
And being humble after a win.
We hope you'll team up with us by staying positive on the sidelines. Because great sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
Make some noise!
Let's do this.
Hey. Come on.
Creative, the world needs an answer. Give us the answer. Creativity is the answer. Never play on repeat. Put your own spin on things. Let a new wave begin.
All right, come on, let's go.
2 seconds.
Creators run the show.
We want the answer.
stage. Rise up from the streets to the pros.
So much.
Creativity is the answer to a world divided. Tear down those walls. Make worlds unite. Flip the script. Rewrite the rules. Creativity is the answer. Now over to you.
Who am I? And furthermore, what do I want? What makes you itch? That's the most important investigation anyone can make. But you don't find this out until you investigate it. So I always ask the question, what would you like to do if money were no object? How would you really enjoy spending your life? Because if you say that money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. Forget the money. After all, if you do really like what you're doing, you can eventually become a master of it. And then you'll be able to get a good fee for whatever it is. Therefore, it's so important to consider this question. What do I desire?
The latest from KSL 5 News, including breaking news as it happens, and all your favorite KSL shows, ready to watch anytime. Download the free KSL app right now on all your favorite devices.
You only need to answer one question.
Will you accept the challenge to become? It doesn't matter your situation in life.
No matter your interest.
Whether your first choice or second chance.
There's a place for you.
Place for you. Place for you at UVU. Place to engage, to rise, to succeed.
To become.
What's the difference between buying from Murdoch and buying from somebody else? In a word, confidence. You'll love our price match guarantee, our 5-day exchange policy,
and don't forget car washes and safety inspections for life.
If you need a new vehicle, consider Murdoch Hyundai. I promise you'll love it.
Welcome back to Clyde Field on the campus of Utah Valley University. Brandon Crow with you here on the WAC Digital Network. Tonight's matchup between the Vaqueros of UTRGV and then the Wolverines of Utah Valley. Utah Valley, as you see right there, with a 2-0 lead on top of the Vaqueros of UTRGV. Those 2 goals coming from Jocelyn Bybee and from Brianna DeWall. Brianna DeWall's goal unassisted, and Jocelyn Bybee's goal came off of an assist from Megan Sullivan / Julie Carter, the official credited assist there. Utah Valley, again, with a 3-2-0 conference record. 30 goals coming into this match on the season, make that 32. And the second half is just about ready to start. The Vaqueros of UTRGV will be going from left to right as you see it and we see it in their orange and grays. Game on! Second half between the Vaqueros and the Wolverines of Utah Valley. Utah Valley will be going from right to left as you see it and we see it. Again, temperatures dropping. And you see the Vaqueros all bundled up. A little bit colder weather than they're used to down there in southern Texas. Winds blowing in from the north to south. Right now, game time temperature 46 degrees and will continue to drop. Utah Valley is 6-0 this season when leading at the half, and we'll see if they can make it 7-0. Coming out of the break, 2-0 is the lead for the Wolverines, and Coach LeMay was able to walk by his tent and continuing to demand excellence from his squad, continuing to demand that intensity, the same intensity, if not more intensity than they showed in that first half, because he knows how important this time of the season is for his squad. As we see UTRGV in the box here. Here's an early opportunity for the Vaqueros. The one touch away from creating something dangerous there for Alihara. Instead, Utah Valley will take it the other way. Burrito Wall switching it up, going to Amber Tripp. Jocelyn Bybee, the goal scorer, to her left. Instead, she tried to go back to Heather Stainbrook. And a missed touch there, miscommunication. And the ball is quickly given right back to the Vaqueros. Bonnie being guarded by Shepard. Turns upfield. Good through ball there to the left-hand side. And Vaqueros back to Alihara. Going back to that point about Chris LeMay, he knows how important it is for this squad to have as much momentum as possible heading into the conference tournament 2 weeks away. And forecast already calling for very low temperatures up in Seattle next week with snow. And we know how difficult that can be to play in, but Seattle's used to it. Utah Valley, it gets cold here, but not too much to snow in this season particularly. It'd be a tough test for the Wolverines as always up there, but it'll be a true test to see where they believe that they lie in this conference. Again, the conference leader, Seattle Redhawks, and then CBU, the Lancers from California Baptist University, right behind them. Of course, the Lancers, as part of that jump to Division I, have to sit out probationary time where they cannot compete in the postseason. Utah Valley giving them their loss in conference play. The Vaqueros lost to California Baptist 3-0. Vaqueros trying to take away that bagel in the scorebook. Trying to find their first goal. Alihara commanding that defense, getting some help from Megan Sullivan to try and fix her headband. Definition of team right there. Helping each other out. Just the corner kick from the Vaqueros, taken away by the Wolverines. Now one right back by the Vaqueros. Ball kicked upfield, no green shirts in the area, and Vaqueros will regain possession. Hannah Bruce, Jenna Shepard. Hannah Bruce's ball gets deflected out of play. Last touch by the Vaqueros and Gina Steiner. Now Maddie Moore switches it to Megan Sullivan. Sullivan trying to find Brina Wall, who gets up to it. Pokes it upfield. And Ansa will watch it go out of play before she takes it and throws it back in for the Vaqueros in their orange and gray unis. Zapata, who would love to find herself with a little bit of momentum, put that ball in the back of the net, leading this team in goals with 5 on the season. Instead, the Utah Valley defense says, not right now. Stainbrook now with it in the midfield logo. Has Jocelyn Bybee to her left, and she goes there. Bybee to Julie Carter to Amber Tripp. Amber Tripp cuts back to her left, then tries to go back right. Taken away by the Vaqueros. Solid defensive stop there. Hannah Bruce gets a boot on it. The intended target there was Anna Barkey. Now Bruce back up to Jocelyn Bybee. Jocelyn Bybee, who put those white mittens and an undershirt on. A little bit cold for her as well. Bybee with a great move in the box goes down. And they're going to call a penalty kick here as Jocelyn Bybee goes down, gets pulled down in the box. And a penalty kick coming up for the Wolverines. And Brita Wall will set it up. Utah Valley already with a 2-0 lead. Brita Wall, the second goal of the season. And Brita Wall sets up for a penalty kick to try and make it 3. Head referee, Adam Zareen, taking his time. Kinga Shemek speaking her piece. Here's a penalty kick from Brita Wall. And Brita Wall puts it through. 3-0. Wolverines in the 52nd. That's Brita Wall's 3rd goal on the season. And it puts the Wolverines up 3-0. As calm and cool as you'd like, composed. Had Kinga Shemek guessing. And flag was up. Referee blows that one off. So the Wolverines in a very comfortable situation now at home. 3-0 lead in the second half against the Vaqueros of UTRGV. Coach Bagario and company know they have a tall task in front of them, but they're going to try and do the best they can and take away that lead one goal at a time. Vaqueros now stringing together some good passes, trying to get that momentum. Heather Stainbrook steps in front to take it away. Amber Tripp. Back to Brita Wall. And Brita Wall loses possession. Ansa. Now Julie Carter with the back flick. And a handball will be called against the Vaqueros. And another free kick here for the Wolverines. And another juicy opportunity. Can the Wolverines find 4 here? Wolverines setting themselves up at the top of the box. Brita Wall again awaits the kick. Has Megan Sullivan to her right. Instead, Brita Wall sends this one in. Referee blows his whistle. And the Wolverines will get a redo. Now Brita Wall for round 2. Brita Wall sends this one toward that back post. Jocelyn Bybee with the header down. Stainbrook with the shot goes wide. Jocelyn Bybee with the great header to set up her teammates in the perfect spot. Just a little bit too hard. And Bybee getting the encouragement from her head coach, Chris LeMay, with the job well done. Haskins to Hannah Bruce. Maddie Moore lays it back to Haskins. Haskins now to Sullivan. Alihara. Amber Tripp. Now the Vaqueros take it away. Stainbrook just barely misses that outstretched foot. Jocelyn Bybee there. Hannah Bruce. Back to Shepard. Hannah Bruce gets the ball into Stainbrook. Back to Bruce. Deflected out of play. Last touch by Bruce. Maddie Moore. Maddie Moore quickly taken away, but then taken right back. Finds Julie Carter on the left-hand side. Julie Carter trying to switch up the box. Down by Bonnie. Bybee just trips over herself. And Alihara will scoop it up. Hara's high kick nestled down by Amber Tripp right in the logo. And comes to the near side. And Jocelyn Bybee. Bybee finds Tripp. Sullivan. Carter Stainbrook. Amber Tripp back to Stainbrook. Lays it off Jocelyn Bybee, who tees this one up, trying to go near post. And Kinga Shemik was right there. Shemik with a nice solid boot past midfield. Hannah Bruce gets ahead on it. Now Bonnie. Here come the Vaqueros. Bonnie creating her own space. Burst of speed. Now to the right-hand side. Just outside the box here. Barkey. Good turn by Steiner. Deflected by Utah Valley. Now Jocelyn Bybee takes this one away for the Wolverines. Wolverines on top 3-0. 2 goals from Brita Wall. 1 goal from Jocelyn Bybee. Now here's Julie Carter. Carter cuts back to her right. Carter to Stainbrook. Stainbrook tees this one up. Kinga Shemik with the save. Thought it might have been able to slip off and go to the back of the net, but Shemik got just enough on it to push it away. Here's the in-swinger. Amber Tripp in the box. Lays this one off. Sullivan back toward the top of the box. Carter with the head on it. Now on the backside coming into it was Jocelyn Bybee. Taken away by the Vaqueros. Ansa does well to clear it away and eventually kicked out of play by the Vaqueros. Throw in coming for the Wolverines. 60th minute. We've got the hour mark of the match under control. About 30 more minutes left in regulation. From Orem, Utah, Clyde Field, on the campus of Utah Valley University, Brandon Crow with you. Thank you for letting us be a part of your Thursday evening here on the WAC Digital Network. Maya Chipman set to come back into the match for the Vaqueros. Amber Tripp swings it into the box, headed away by the Vaqueros, then kicked right back up in the air and out of play by Maddie Moore. Deflected off of the Vaqueros for a corner kick for the Wolverines. Their 7th corner on the evening. Brita Wall sets up for the corner kick on the far side. Brita Wall into the box. Deflected off of Jenna Shepard. Now Katie Haskins has it. Hannah Bruce switches it back over to Brita Wall. Brita Wall with the left foot. Top of the box. Headed up in the air by the Vaqueros. Again, now Haskins. Stainbrook gets a boot on it, wins it back for the Wolverines. Now Maddie Moore up to Stainbrook again. Stainbrook was looking for Amber Tripp and Jocelyn Bybee to her left, taken away now by the Vaqueros. Barkey. Bonnie just inside the logo. Can't get it over as Megan Sullivan heads it down. And here's Maddie Moore with the turn. Brita Wall gets past Ansa. Now eventually taken back by Ansa. Bonnie. Now back to Alihara. Amber Tripp to Jocelyn Bybee. Jenna Shepard watches that one go out of play. Throw in for the Wolverines. Hannah Bruce. And that ball will go out of play. And 2 substitutions coming in for the Vaqueros. Maya Chipman. And then Jacqueline Zapata as well. Stepping off the pitch for the Vaqueros is Bonnie, along with Steiner. And 4 more substitutions coming in at the next opportune moment for the Wolverines. Cassidy McCormick, Nikki Olanda, Amanda Mangelson, and Sadie Brockbank. Heather Stainbrook gets a little talking to. And Catherine Stokely getting another talking to from the official. So both squads getting their fair share. They lay this one off for Stokely. Stokely in full sprint now to Delaney Carroll. And Carroll kicks this one out of play. Be a goal kick for Ali Hara. So now McCormick, Olanda, Brockbank, and Mangelson come in for Jocelyn Bybee, Julie Carter, Heather Stainbrook, and Breeda Wall. '64th minute. Utah Valley on top, 3-0. Again, the goal scoring got started by Jocelyn Bybee in the 4th minute. And then Breeda Wall in the 40th. And then Breeda Wall again here in the second half in the 52nd. Kinga Shemek with the save. As those fresh legs from Utah Valley, who just got done scoring 10 goals against Chicago State last week, looking to continue to keep up that momentum. I don't think it's going to escalate that high here tonight. But these young Wolverines are very hungry. And they want to be in the best form possible. Again, heading up to Seattle next week. And then the conference tournament right after that. But most importantly, to finish up here tonight and finish up their homestead with 2 wins for the seniors, finishing off their home career with 2 wins as well. They got to take care of business against the Vaqueros tonight. And then against the Lopes from Grand Canyon on Saturday. And the Lopes are no small task either. Ball taken away now by the Wolverines. Shepard plays it back to Hara. Hara, one of a handful of seniors that will be recognized on Saturday. Again, this is a very young team. Majority of this team, the average of this team is sophomores and freshmen. So Coach LeMay, again, trying to build for the future here in the Western Athletic Conference here at Utah Valley. Ali Hara, Hannah Bruce, Brianna Hatch, the seniors on this squad. Hannah Bruce turns around and plays it back. Sullivan. Maddie Moore. Jenna Shepard quickly looks for Hannah Bruce on the near side. Olanda. Back to Moore, back to Olanda. Orlando right in the circle. Switching up the field, going far side now to Sullivan. Sullivan has Mangelson. Mangelson sheds Ansa. Mangelson, the laser in toward the box, deflected off of UTRGV. Cassian McCormick with the chase. Now Barkey up to Bruce. Bruce takes it back. Sadie Brockbank lays this one off for McCormick. Jenna Shepard wins it back for Utah Valley. Now Amber Tripp. Amber Tripp chipping it up the pitch. Taken back by the Vaqueros. Zapata, the intended target there. Barkey. A little over 20 minutes left to play in regulation. Brockbank steps up to take a touch. Now Amber Tripp has it right in the middle of the logo. Tripp up to Brockbank. Brockbank zigzagging her way into the space that she wants. Goes 1v1, draws a foul against Ansa. Brockbank takes it quickly here. Here's a shot! Just wide! Amber Tripp looking for another goal on the season, leading the whole team with 6. Looking for number 7 there. Good ball movement here by the Wolverines, who are just relentless. Shemek again with a diving save. Amber Tripp not letting up. Shemek, the great bomb. Zapata with the touch. Barkey now for the Vaqueros. And Barkey sends this one into the box. Flag is up. Alihara scoops it. 70th minute. Still 3-0 Utah Valley on top of the Vaqueros. Just now tuning in and joining us on the WAC Digital Network. Jocelyn Bybee got the goal scoring started for the Wolverines with her 4th goal in the 5th minute. And then Brita Wall in the 40th. And then Brita Wall again in the 52nd in the second half off of a penalty kick. And that is where we stand, 3-0. Hannah Bruce on the near side. And a good touch taken away there by Barkey. And a foul is called against Bruce. Stokely waiting for the whistle from the referee. Swings this one into the top of the box. Kicked high up in the air by Amber Tripp. Cassian McCormick trying to win the head battle. Gets a head on it and a foot on it. Brockbank to Mangelson. Mangelson sheds the defender. Mangelson sprints upfield. Mangelson trying to find Brockbank. And last touch by the Vaqueros. Wolverines continuing the attack here. Brockbank with the beautiful turn. In swinger. Cassian McCormick trying to chest it down to herself. Instead lays it off. Maddie Moore. Now Nikki Olanda. Now Hannah Bruce. Olanda. Moore. Moore with a nice touch. Tripp. Back to Moore. Bruce. Bruce to Moore. Cassidy McCormick sprints over to get the ball in play to Amber Tripp quickly. Toward that outside post through Kingashemek's hands. Brockbank giving chase. Brockbank gets it. Left foot. Sends it in by Haskins. Now here comes Zapata. Zapata going 1v1 here with Sullivan. Sullivan driving Zapata back. Sullivan stopping. Zapata still gets it. Great composure there by Zapata. Sadie Brockbank sprints up to get it. Flag is up, however. Brockbank offsides. Brenda Crow going to check in for the Wolverines. Shepard with the head on it. Haskins shielding for Hara to scoop it up. Give it right back to Megan Sullivan. Maddie Moore. Hannah Bruce. Maddie Moore switches it up. Sullivan. And Shemek in the 74th minute. Amanda Lozano and Chrissy Rivera set to check in for the Vaqueros at the next opportune moment. Brockbank slowed down by the Vaqueros, particularly Ansa. Now Haskins plays it back to Alihara. Bruce looking for McCormick. Nikki with the touch. Barkey for the Vaqueros. Gets by Olanda. Hannah Bruce now steps up. Hannah Bruce showing off that speed, has options. Lays it off to Sadie Brockbank. Brockbank stops and turns. Has two Vaqueros around her. Creates her own space now. Brockbank with the deflection off of the Vaqueros goes right back into UTRGV possession. The dueling Zapata. The two attackers. Shepard playing it back to Hara. In the 76th minute, Hara now playing it on the near side to Nikki Olanda. Last touched by the Vaqueros. And Hannah Bruce steps off. Brenna Crow checks on. Rivera and Lozano come on for Kalmbach and Ansa. Sullivan throws it in. McCormick trying to turn. Still with the Wolverines. Cassidy McCormick with the turn. McCormick headed up in the air. Last touch by Mangelson will be a goal kick for Kingashemek. Cassidy McCormick, who last week against Chicago State had her first collegiate goal and hat trick all in the same match. Rachel Anderson going to come into the match. Good shot of head coach Chris LeMay. Crow with the header. Brockbank with the turn. Crow with the left foot. Right at Nikki Olanda. And Brockbank tees this one up and sends this one into the parking lot. Amber Tripp will step off, get a well-deserved rest from the captain. And Rachel Anderson steps on. '78th minute here at Clyde Field. Shantatius Knox set to check into the match for Emily Zapata for the Vaqueros at the next opportune moment. Maddie Moore. Shepard. Upfield looking for Sadie Brockbank. Brockbank trying to get around her defender. And a throw in for the Vaqueros. Last touch by Brockbank and the Wolverines. Nikki Olanda wins it back, however, for the Wolverines right after the throw in. Now Jenna Shepard. Barkey kicks this one out of play. About 10 minutes left in regulation. Utah Valley again on top 3-0. 2 goals from Brita Wall, 1 goal from Jocelyn Bybee. That's where we stand. Nicole Olanda looking for Sadie Brockbank. Instead dispossessed from the back line. UTRGV. That one by Hepker. Bunch of bodies go flying on the floor. Shepard included. Referee says play on. Rivera. Barkey. Knox. Rivera again. Deflected off of Olanda. Inside the box, here's a shot. Smothered there by Hara. Barely deflected off the post, and Hara still comes up to grab it. The most dangerous play for the Wolverines. And they're going to call a foul on Hara. It'll be a penalty kick for UTRGV. So Hara with an opportunity to try and save her clean sheet here. And it looks like it'll be Catherine Stokely. Stokely with the big run up. Hara with the block, but it goes into the back of the net. Stokely, too much pace, and the shutout is gone. Vaqueros get their first goal in the 81st minute. Hara read it perfectly. Couldn't get enough on it. Stokely put everything into it. Eventually in the back of the net. As we see a replay, Hara just trying to find the ball and upends Knox. So the Vaqueros get the PK goal in the 81st. Stokely, a lot of English on it going to that near post. Hara read it perfectly, but just snuck in right underneath her. Michaela Montgomery and Mackenzie Humphrey set to check in for the Wolverines. This one gets past Olanda. Brinley Nelson into the match for the Wolverines to Rachel Anderson. Sullivan upfield, looking for Cassidy McCormick. This one headed away from McCormick. Shepard. Anderson. Looking for Brockbank. Brockbank with the turn. Brockbank in the box with the left foot. And this one bounces off of Shimmick. She still corrals it before it goes out of play. Crow showing off great speed. Tracks that down to Hara. Crow upfield. Brinley Nelson goes down. Free kick for the Wolverines. 83rd minute. Montgomery and Humphreys in the wings. Sullivan wins it for the Wolverines. McCormick now. McCormick with the turn. Taken back by the Vaqueros. Now the Vaqueros, after that goal, a little bit more confidence in their step. Trying to see if they can find another. 8 minutes left to play in regulation. Sullivan stepping in again. Has Brockbank onside up front. Looking for Brockbank. Brockbank showing off that speed, trying to get there. Brockbank gets there. Lays it back to McCormick. McCormick, stop and go, stutter move. McCormick into the box, headed up in the air by Stokely for the Vaqueros. Anderson. Nikki Olanda. Cassidy McCormick. Olanda again. Brockbank. Olanda. Crow. Taken away by the Vaqueros. Kicked upfield. Haskins. All the way back to Hara. Crow. There's a shot by Anderson. And Shemmick with a two-punch save to go out of play. Corner kick earned by the Wolverines. Michaela Montgomery comes in for Megan Sullivan. And Mackenzie Humphreys will come in at the next opportune moment for the Wolverines. Here's the corner kick. The ball was played dangerously through the box. Foul is called against Utah Valley. It'd be a free kick for the Vaqueros. .86 4 minutes left to play in regulation. Utah Valley on top, 3-1. Vaqueros getting their first goal just barely off a penalty kick in the 81st minute. Catherine Stokely broke the drought for the Vaqueros. And for the Wolverines, Jocelyn Bybee got the goal scoring started. Flag is up on the Vaqueros on the far side. Bybee got her fourth goal on the season in the 5th minute. Then Breeda Wall in the 40th, right before halftime. And then Breeda Wall again in the second half this time in the 52nd minute off of a PK. Wolverines know that no lead is safe in this conference. Every goal counts. Mangelson upfield, looking for Brockbank. Stokely coming in with a vicious header. Stokely again. Barkey. Mangelson lays off. McCormick now with the touch. Anderson gets it. And one back by the Vaqueros. Zapata the intended target. And Brenna Crow comes in to take away. Montgomery with the step over. Montgomery being tripped from behind, loses her footing. No foul called. Crow gets it back. Trying to thread the needle to McCormick. Barkey. Now at the field against Zapata. Mangelson clears it. 88th minute. And a foul called against Sadie Brockbank. Free kick here for the Vaqueros. Maya Chipman got fouled. Stokely with the big legs, getting ready to put something dangerous on this one. Stokely sends this one in, trying to play it to Hara, and this one a little bit too far. And a substitution now for Utah Valley. Mackenzie Humphreys coming in for Sadie Brockbank. Hara, big booming kick, headed up in the air. Shepard gets it back. Now McCormick. Now Barkey. Back to Rivera. And Stokely now for the Vaqueros. Stokely looking upfield. And Torslov couldn't get there in time. It'll go off of the Vaqueros as we approach the final 90 seconds of the match. Vaqueros trying to see if they can squeak in another goal. Utah Valley doesn't want that to happen. Vaqueros. Miscommunication there. Sadie Brockbank now kicks it back to Rivera for the Vaqueros. Torslav. Into the box. Kicked away by Utah Valley. Vaqueros again. Headed up in the air by Shepard for Utah Valley. Final minute now for the Wolverines and the Vaqueros. Knox. Taken away. Kicked upfield. Humphreys going 1v1. Humphreys with McCormick to her left. Humphreys lays it off for McCormick. And McCormick just going to kick it right at Shimmick. Haskins gets a knee on it. Barkey steps up. There's a through ball. Flag stays down. And this will do it. Final 5 seconds. Utah Valley will improve to 7-1-1 at home on this season and 4-2-0 in conference play. The Vaqueros fall to 3-2-1 in conference play. Your final score: from Orem, Utah. The Wolverines are victorious 3-1 over the Vaqueros of UTRGV. Again, your goal scorers for the Wolverines tonight: Jocelyn Bybee in the 5th minute, Brita Wall in the 40th minute, and then Brita Wall again in the 52nd minute off of a penalty kick. And the Vaqueros getting their goal from Catherine Stokely off of a penalty kick. For all of our hardworking staff and crew behind the scenes, for Ben Schroeder, the camera, Illuminaire, I'm Brandon Crow signing off, saying so long and good night from Orem, Utah. The Wolverines victorious 3-1 over the Vaqueros.